What's popping, V-Squad? Squad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Be in Progress, because we're only progressing here. Yes, guys, we are at episode 8, and I can't keep calm because we have an amazing lady in the building. The one and only Joyce Kappy. If you don't know who she is, you're about to meet her and you're about to love her because she's one of the strongest women I know. Help me introduce Joyce. Welcome to my channel. And please, girl, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
My name is Joyce Joki Wanjohi. I'm not even know.
Yeah,
I think yes.
She's taken.
I'm a mother of 2, married to one amazing man, and I do paper flowers for a living. I'm an artist for a living, and then I live my truth.
Yeah. And you do decor too?
Yeah, I do a lot of decor for events and showers and interior as well, but my specialization is in crafts.
Yeah, so I happen to know this beautiful lady for a few years now, but maybe like a near, like ile person wenye tumemeet and now we talk. And she did our paper flowers for the Glam Hub. So all of you who come to our studio and they're just like, those paper flowers. The face that did that. Yeah, so karibu sana. You know I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm so excited to be having you in my channel today because this is one of the most episodes that are so close to my heart that I really wanted to do even when I began this. And now it's episode 8 and we get to do this and I'm so excited to have you.
I can't wait. I actually just met my husband and I guess nikukatiana tu Then I got pregnant. I was finishing her uni at that point, so that was exciting. I think what I can say is, have you ever met, like when you met your husband, you had that thing, you're like, this guy's going to marry me. Like I knew that from, I think like 3rd encounter. I was like, hey, if I'm not careful, Kappy, utaolewa.
What?
And I was like, nah, ewe, niliolewa.
After the thought.
After the thought, niliolewa.
So you're saying you're pregnant at 20?
21.
Pregnant
at 21.
So you're done with uni?
Yes, I actually graduated. Should I say this out loud?
Yes, please. It's a story.
I graduated when I was 7 months pregnant. Luckily, I
the big bum.
Yeah, it was
the tiny one.
Cute one.
To the first,
actually,
I think the first
glowing.
bummies are just like tiny.
I felt so pretty. I was glowing. My skin, everything just felt so perfect. Like, you know, every time you go for antenatal, I'm like, the baby is nice, perfect. Everything was fine. Like, I didn't suspect anything was about to change for real. And then, but
so let me take you back. So, because now we are for 7 months.
Yeah.
So when did you know that you were pregnant? So you've met your babe at 20. You're happy now. You're dating. Blah blah. Things are happening. And then when did you realize that? Oh, I'm actually pregnant. And how was that?
I didn't even realize it. The one you realize is like, I think you're pregnant. I'm like, me? See?
How did you even realize that?
Me too. I feel like guys just have that thing. I don't know. Then I denied it for like 2 weeks. He went and actually got the test, like test it. I'm like, I'm telling you you're pregnant. I'm like, okay, fine, sawa. So I went, guys, niliona positive, nililia.
You were scared.
I think.
Were you with him when you're testing?
Yes. I think it's the realization that things are about to change, like drastically, because I knew for sure I'm keeping this baby.
Yeah.
So I think also the emotions, like there was a lot of emotions. I was almost 2 months
in.
Yeah.
And you didn't know.
I didn't feel anything. I didn't have those things for morning sickness, nausea. Mimi nilikuwa tu nakula. Nilikuwa nasikia kulala. Basi nilikuwa nafikiria maybe nika January. Until January, I was just kurudi life. I thought it's just laziness for back. And the first person I had to tell was my mom.
Yeah.
Yes. What I appreciate is my mom and I have
a bond.
We have a bond. We have a relationship. So she understands me. So she knew. She's like, hey, what is happening today? So she had a few guesses. Of course, she was wrong.
Yeah.
And then I told her, I'm pregnant. And then she just went silent. Like silent.
You were just like, what?
Maybe can help a bedroom.
Serious.
And then after like a few minutes, she comes up and she says, did I hear you right? Did you say you're pregnant? I said, yeah, I am. And alikuwa ameteulia rasta.
Oh yeah, the guy has.
Yeah, my husband had a rasta.
Yeah, the dreadlocks.
Yeah, baba ni nani rasta? Kambe rasta.
Bless our mothers. I'm kusema rasta hapana.
No, actually, they have a good relationship.
Or even before, when
Yes.
you guys were dating.
They were not talking, but it wasn't, I don't like this boy.
Yeah,
those vibes. Yeah. So,
Kasema,
Rasta. Yeah, Rasta.
I love that so much.
Okay. Akasema sawa, tutamlea. Akasema sawa, tutamlea. That was the end of the conversation. Then I went to school. I came back and for sure, my entire pregnancy, I'd wake up, there were fruits. She would call to make sure I've eaten. Like she went overly motherly in that period. I didn't feel, so even when I went and people would talk, like I have this,
the voice that should speak to me is okay.
Yes.
So
it didn't matter.
your speaking doesn't mean nothing.
Not matter.
Wow.
I mean, I had my husband's support, I had my mom's support. What can you ask for? I moved to Valley Road campus, so if I was going home, I was eating. Got appropriate wear for people who stare. And actually, I didn't tell anyone until I finished school. Less people who like sabotaging people's lives.
They be like, don't I graduate?
Exactly. So I finished my classes, and then after that, after I finished my classes, and I was like, every guys, I'm pregnant, 4 months in there. They're fine now. Then my husband traveled for 5 months. So now every day my mom is just like, Anarudi, Anarudi.
Oh, the mom, even your mom don't like, this one has stalked my daughter.
Tulianza long distance relationships way before Corona. He actually came back the week I was delivering. But we were still talking.
So he had traveled outside the country?
Outside the country, yeah. Now, luckily for him, this would really help my story. When he was there, because it was all adventure related, he was at a camp, he actually got to interact with special needs children as part of his project, So when he was coming back, he had already experienced, he had seen them, he had taken care of them, he had talked to parents. I guess when we say God prepares you, just don't know you'll be prepared, that's exactly what I mean. So we come back, he's come back a week, of course I'm excited, I'm like, Mom, the way you have amerudi. Amerudi yangu. So I give birth, and that's where now everything changes. So I open my eyes, Mom, Mike, and then they're all looking at me like a dropper. There's something. And then I think there was something about how they kept looking at each other, like so of course my mom, Mike looks at my mom looks at Mike, and then my mom eventually says he's okay, and then Mike says yeah, he's okay, I've seen him, he's so beautiful, and I'm like, okay, where is he? Can I go see him? They're like, no, you need to rest because you've just given birth, blah blah blah. I'm like, of course I'm not believing them. I'm like, these guys are lying to me. The only way I'll rest is if I'm very sure, like nimwone na macho zangu ako sawa. So I knew where the nursery was. They tell me we're not going inside the nursery. Ako ICU. Hey, Mistake, I'm sure kizaliwa kwa ICU. So we go, he was such a beautiful baby. Alikuwa mnono, alafu alikuwa amejaza incubator. Alikuwa amejaza incubator. Then he's so cute. They had put a pink tag on the boy. It's like the guy was putting the tag, didn't check to verify this is a male species. And you know when you give birth the way you call baby Joyce Kappy. So baby Joyce Kappy, he was just in the incubator, no movement, zero, eyes closed, mtoe yuko tu. Then of course there are these two machines and till date I really don't like that noise. Unaambua ini oxygen, ini the one that's, what is it called? Any BP, yes, BP and oxygen. And then so just listening to that and being told that this child whose eyes are closed is alive because this thing is lying like this. I'm like, okay, it's fine, it's okay. So we go home. I'm not home. So after 3 days, I have to go home because I finished. Me, I'm fine. Me niko sawa. So tumeenda home, and here my health card. At times she was called Sheila. Alilia. Alilia. Aku understand venye mtoto anaweza toa nyumbani. Kosi. I understand how did you come back without your child? It's not normal. She cried. We had to bembeleza her to calm down. The child is fine. Tutaenda kumtembelea kesho. We even had, we had the limitation on who could enter the ICU, but the fact that I feel like the fact that she was packing the bottles and seeing me wake up in the morning to go visit,
to see the baby,
calmed her down that anyway there's a child coming, mtoto ako sawa. So the rest of the 2 weeks we spent in hospital just waiting. I guess you just it's literal waiting because
like 2 weeks of waiting.
Ngojea mtoto, let's just wait for him to wake up. Of course in this period tumefanya blood test, organ test, like they checked everything. I didn't even know you can actually do an ultrasound on someone's brain. I guess when they're young you can. Because they were now checking like what's happening because all bodily functions are fine, it's just the brain. So we waited after like 2 weeks, and by this time nimesha bond na all the mothers in hospital.
Okay, I can imagine because you used to go every single day,
right? Gani ako shift huwa narudi after 3 days, so this time ni nurse mwingine. So I knew that system. That was my life for those 2 weeks. I knew the mothers. So in that period my son was the only one who was not a preemie child. So you can imagine how the ICU and NICU looks like. There's this big baby and then tiny baby. Yeah, but I knew those mothers. And unfortunately in that period, those 2 weeks, we had kids who were going, like unakaa mnaambua wako hayuko. And you have to comfort this mother, but you're also in line. You don't know kama siku yako iko karibu itafika or not. So we're all just comforting each other, and then you see by one parents start going home or parents go to bury, unfortunately. So you are just it's a waiting game. You cry, you wake up, you eat, you cry again, you wake up, you eat. Then the kid finally cried, akioga.
This is after how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks now.
2 weeks akalia. Eventually, then we were told, okay, ameamka sasa, now we can proceed to the nursery, special nursery. And then because of infections in the special nursery, only me and my husband could enter. So my mom could only see. Remember, my mom has only seen this child in the NICU, in the ICU. And when he's finally woken up, she couldn't see him. She could only see him through the window because they were not allowed, grandparents are not allowed to enter the special nursery because of infections. And we were taught, we finally got to touch the baby after 2 weeks, and it was so nice to touch a baby. Like, I think ameacha kuwa a child in the incubator, now you've touched a baby.
It's your baby.
Yes,
I
like touched my baby.
Having the first experience with your baby.
Yes, and then so we're taught how to do the feeding. Feeding was the most important part. We were taught how to feed him. First we fed him with a cup, no spoon, and then cup. because he was a tiny child. Can you imagine feeding a tiny child with a spoon and hoping that they don't It was scary.
Plus your first time mom.
Yeah. But we did it. We were allowed to go home after a month, and then now the journey started. Now it was a lot of physiotherapy. Do you know, parents, because it's the first time you're going through this, we actually paid 3,500 per session for a child who was doing sessions every day of the week.
What?
Yes. Until we realized, okay, we're going to be broke. Even
That's
before
so crazy. Let me start now that we have even touched about money. So you deliver.
Yes.
You had already prepared,
yes,
like for the delivery.
Yes.
But now your baby has to stay
in the ICU.
Yeah, for a whole month.
Yes.
In the hospital.
Yes.
How was that fast? And then to come think that now you have to pay 3,500.
It was my gosh. So I'll speak on it from my husband's perspective. Remember, he had gone to work, so he's come back, he had changad cash. So the cash he had changad was for us to get married. But iliishia yote ICU. In fact, iliishia yote, my mom had to come in, and then of course other people had to come in that period. And then now you're hit with this child. For this child to have for the milestones to be achieved, because you remember these are delayed milestones.
Yeah.
So for them to be achieved, we have to do these things for this child. So the child needs therapy every day, and therapy is 3,500
per session. That's crazy. How many sessions a week?
We were doing Monday to Saturday, so that's times 6. Just do times 6 for 3 months.
And you guys agreed to it?
Do you know any better, V?
You didn't look like for options. That's crazy. Was this offered by the hospital, or how was that?
No, it's offered by the hospital, and it's the only thing we knew. Like, it's the first child. It's the first child. You don't know any better.
I know.
You don't know it, and then plus you're going through
plus
the
you're
emotions.
just thinking maybe this therapy will just help get things going.
Exactly. In that period, honestly, you do anything for your child. So for 3 months before, and then plus emotionally you're so drained, you don't even think of looking for, you don't think that there's another way, like for you to look options. Like, we didn't think as fast in that period. So yes, for 3 months, that was October. So October, November, December, 3,500 per day for 3 months. My husband was stressed.
I can imagine.
And then we now moved in together, so there's rent, and this child requires a healthy diet. So I need to be fed nicely, and of course he's a normal guy. He wants to give you the best.
Yeah.
So that period was the most stressful, in my opinion, for him. And then, but of course by this time, I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
So I go back in an effort to also help him, go find work, do my first internship. But I was not emotionally okay. I was not okay. In fact, I would say I was depressed in that period. I was depressed.
But you didn't even know it was depression.
No.
You were just thinking it's everything happening and I'm stressed.
Yeah. And then this time you're learning, because we moved in together after that, so I'm learning how to be a mom and I'm learning how to be a wife. And those are 2 separate roles, guys. Those are 2 separate roles. You need to learn both of them. And my friends by this time are noticing that udem nika hashikanishi kenye kunafanyika. So they booked an appointment for me to go and meet this doctor. And the doctor, I leave work, I go to see this doctor, and the doctor starts, your child has cerebral palsy. He will never accomplish this. He will never.
Wait a minute.
Said it
Did
so
you
many
go with
times.
the baby?
Yes, I went with the baby. I went. My husband was there, and my mom. And my mom is the support system. This support system, like a whole support system by her own. Because remember, she is our mother. She's both my husband and I mother. So she had to be strong for both of us. So we went through I will never, and I just remember crying and breaking down. Not that I didn't know what was happening, because I'm a smart woman. I'd already read, I'd done my research. I knew this was a possibility. My husband had seen such children, so he knew that this could be the possibility. But I respect that man. He allowed me to go through that process on my own. Like allowed me to
discover it.
Yes.
To
and
like
then just be there. Be there for me, yes. So he already started making plans. He knew, and of course after it's broken down, I'm like, okay, so this is not, my situation is not going to change right now or in the near future. So 3,500 can work. There has to be other ways. That's when I discovered Kenyatta does 500. And then so we started doing, before Kenyatta we got another therapist. Kudanganywa town Nairobi. Nairobi nikaambiwa huyu this therapist came, huyu nikimshika anapona, nipatie tu 3 months. Mimi nani sinataka mtoto apone. Nililipa chapa, and he's cheaper than the 3,500. He was charging a K per session,
but every day as well.
That we moved to 4 times a week.
Okay.
So wacha mtoto anze kukandwa, mtoto abadiliki month 1, month 2, month 3. This time I went through, now I'm healing, like proper looking for healing. I've done churches, I've done prophets, almost scalps.
What?
I sought for healing. Bad. I knew this child. I didn't want to believe that this was going to be my life, but this is how my child's life was going to turn out. So I did everything I did everything I could think of. I did Kesha. I would pray. I would take that any prophet who said neza muombea apone, I was there.
Wow. That's mother's love. Like, I just feel like if it were possible for us mothers or a parent out there, like you literally would do anything for your child.
Yes.
And for you, I see it as every opportunity you had that my child can get better, it was a hope for you.
Yes.
And you had to do it. At least you have to do it to make sure
and
you take the chances.
I still encourage parents to do that. Do give your best so that you never have any doubt that
you did by deed.
What if there's nothing as bad as living in regret with a child's life in your hands. That regret will eat you up more than if you did it and nothing happened.
Makes sense. And I'm happy you're telling your story, because I don't imagine, yes, you have come before now. There are people who came before you with the same special needs kids, and there are more that will come later.
That are coming. And
I just feel like then the way we have normalized like easy or soft life parenting, whereby like you have a second born. I'm sure this journey is so different from Nate. So like the same way we have normalized just normal parenting, I feel like for special kids parents, like it's the high chance, because I think you have the story, it's your story, you get. So it's not a media personality trying to highlight what they don't even understand. I feel like most parents should come out and just create awareness.
And you know the unfortunate part is if special needs parents don't come out and talk about it, then policymakers don't know what to do. They don't know, they're not going through it. So if we don't talk about it, no one can help us. No one can help us. It does not come likely to any parent that CP has no cure yet, but you need to find out that it has no cure for yourself. So
because you're always like, what if they haven't discovered
it? What if they try? If I try this, maybe I'm a And we have those stories. We have those stories where kids just wake up and they're fine.
Wow.
Or they did this, they ate this food and they got better. But that's the CP is such a broad term, and every child, it's a brain thing, and no child is affected the same way, because it affects different parts of the brain.
Different for every child.
It's different for every child. We have children who have CP, but it's only affected one arm. We have children who have CP, but it's just affected, probably lower limbs, but they're able to function. They're able to go to school. So these are the stories we hear. And we have now CP where the child is bedridden, but they're all CP. So it's an umbrella term. Everyone is affected differently. So you meet CP parents and everyone is different. So the first thing you learn when you're a CP parent is don't compare your child. You don't know how your brain of your child was affected.
Yeah.
So 2016 we go to India. We did, and at the end of that week, this doctor comes and tells us, you know, this child will just be a burden in your life. And what you need to do is when you go back home and he gets a fever, don't treat it, wait for 7 days and he'll be gone. And you'll no longer have to carry him through this journey.
What?
My husband asked like 3 times, repeat what you just said. Because, like, who tells a parent that, you know? And at that point, I started now wondering, is this why we don't see a lot of special needs children? Are they going?
Neglected? Yeah.
Are they being hidden? Is this the way I let it? Of course, if he gets a fever and goes, it's murder.
Yeah, like you didn't treat it.
You should treat it. Like, anyway, gave us that speech. I called, I made a few phone calls, and we're back in Kenya, Nairobi. Happy to have this child, but by this time we're like, you know, now we have to, this is our life, this is it. But sikuishuana, like I'm a very positive person. I feel like you should always try things. So I tried diets, I tried nutrition, I've done, like, honestly, we at this point, I feel like I've done everything. Like I don't feel any
like,
sort of regret.
Something I should have
with
done.
it. No, I've tried all those things. I've tried nougat, I've tried massages, I've tried minerals and supplements. I've tried them. And when they didn't work, I was ready to move on to the next. 2017, we do now the second India. The second India, now I've done my research proper, and now I'm doing stem cell. I want to help. And I met parents in Kenya whose stem cell actually worked for them. Again, remember, CP is different for everyone.
Every kid, yeah.
Yes. So I met a child who went through stem cell and started seeing improvements. I wanted to try it. I'm like, let me try it. You know, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. So we go to India in 20. We do the fundraising. I think we talked to them.
Yeah.
So we do the fundraising and I meet a lot of people and I start talking about it and I talk about the journey and I meet other parents and we managed to get the amount of money we needed and we go to India. So in 2017 July we land. This is supposed to be a week's long procedure and we do everything, but he starts convulsing. The child convulses and we ended up staying 2 weeks, a week more, and contemplating staying longer because if he doesn't stabilize, we won't be able to travel back. And this is a period where now I got my healing. When we're in India at Neurogen, we met a doctor who was a Christian and she had seen us praying for the child. So one time she comes to the room and she says, I noted you guys pray for your child. I'm a Christian too, but don't tell anyone because the institution is not, I guess, friendly. Yeah. But she tells me, if you're willing, could you come for one of our prayer meetings? We have a prophet who's coming in. Of course.
I know, again, it's like
yes.
Hope.
I go, I hear prophet prayer, I mean, perfect. So I go and I sit through this session and of course at the end, I can't remember what the preaching was about, but she takes me to be prayed for and the prophet says, why are you praying for your child? Your child is okay.
At this point, have you told him?
No, I've not told him anything. He says, your child is okay. And I'm like, no, we're here. He's like, no. In the spiritual world, your child is very okay. But he needs to be like this to achieve his purpose. And I'm like, hold up. Say what? Then he says, he gives me scripture. He says, you know how Moses had the serpent on the snake, and the snake on the rod, and everyone who came and looked at it found healing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing your child is doing. It's not a beautiful condition to look at. It's like the serpent, but he needs to stay like that because everyone who comes to see him will find healing. And I came back.
Wait a minute. So you get this what do I call it? Like whatever, like the message.
Yeah.
The prophet gives you the message. At this point, what is going on in your mind? Are you just like no, you're because I think, are you processing or instantly you get like, this is what I've been looking for?
I feel like I felt answered. You see, like those crying, that crying period I'd gone through finally makes sense. Like this was an answer that made sense. And it's not at it was an answer for me.
Yeah.
So I took it. I was like, I can't, you know the worst part is, I can't even remember that prophet's name. I can't remember him.
Wow.
I can't even remember his face. But I went back, I took the tuk-tuk back and went to the hospital. And
So
I
at
told
this
my
point
husband,
you were not with your hubby?
no,
Someone
has to stay with the child because he's in hospital. And again, my husband is the type to allow you to go through your process. Like if he feels like do you need this? Like, will this help you? You go through it. So I go back to hospital and I tell him, hey, today the prophet says something. I mean,
today there are no prayers.
Today the answer is very clear. You know, when I left hospital, the child was convulsing, but when I got back, he was stable enough to travel.
What?
We actually went back the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, we went back the next day. Child was stable to move, and we booked the flight, came back. But that was the last time I remember feeling like there's something missing in him. Like, you know, I don't know if most special needs parents would say it out loud, but you feel like he's quote unquote incomplete, like there's something that needs to happen for him to be complete.
Yeah.
But after that, I finally started seeing my son is complete as he is.
That's so deep one, because I just feel like how many, like even people like us as people, like how many things do you try fixing in yourself, because you tend to think they're broken until maybe one day God either reveals why you are like the way you are, and you're just like, wow, so like I've been missing all the, you are
not broken.
And did you even feel like, wow, I've missed like by this time Nate is how many years?
He's almost turning 3. Yeah.
Did you feel like, wow, manze, have wasted like 3 years like trying to figure out?
I actually felt bad as a mother for not seeing him as complete, yet he was. So I went through now a period of grieving, because, and this is a grieving for special needs parents, and every parent needs to do this. You grieve for the child that you thought you were going to have. Remember when you're carrying for 9 months, you're like, oh, I'll ride a bike, oh, I'll take you to here, and then you'll be wearing this, and like, so you already have a picture of the child you wanted to have, and then this child didn't come out the way you want. So you go through proper grieving for the child you lost, the one you had thought about, and then you start accepting the one you have.
You got. Wow.
And the moment you start accepting the one you have, there's joy, there's peace, there's love. Like your child is a child, not a prayer item. Yeah.
Hey,
you
sister,
get there.
I think after there you came with.
I came back with my son. You know, I had put my life on hold because after that is when I was ready for the wedding. I was ready for business. I was ready. I was tired of crying. I was okay. Now life has to move on. Mtoto ako sawa. So tuendelee. Like, there's no need of crying over this situation again. Let's move on. And I came back.
Live life. Let's live our life.
And I came back and I was ready to move on. The child is fine. To a point that I would go for prayer meetings and when people kawaida nilikuwa wale who wants to healing.
I'm here.
Nowadays when someone says healing, unless I have a flu or something, he's complete.
He's a whole thing.
Unless he's going through a season of a chest complication or something, then he's sick. But even then I started noticing that every time we went to hospital, there was someone waiting for us. There was a parent there that I needed to talk to. There was a child that I needed to see. There was a parent who needed to talk to someone who was a stranger and let go. And every time we'd identify that parent, he would get better. Like, nika, sijui ni kuexplainiaje hivi. Like, tunaweza fika hosi umtoi, fever, sijui nini. Immediately, purpose is fulfilled. Anapona immediately.
Wow.
And we're
So you became even a source of hope to other parents who are going through this without even knowing it.
I didn't know until I started identifying there was a pattern here. There was a pattern. He wasn't getting sick randomly. He would get sick when there was someone we needed to interact with in hospital. And surprisingly, all those women I've talked to in hospital, I'm still friends with them.
Wow.
I walked that journey with them. We met another special needs, because I'm not the last. I met another special needs parent going through that period, and would talk, and you notice that there is a pattern. It's not random. Like me, like Nathan do allows we go see. I know we're going to hospital. Gut feeling. I look at him and I'm like, this one, itunalazwa. Like, I'm the type of parents who checks into hospital with a bag, a book, picture, word puzzles, earphones, pajamas. Hey, go back, Nikan and a holiday. And essentially it's a holiday for me because it's Yoshi Vyombo. Picky.
You're just chilling.
Chill.
Waiting for.
I do my hair. I do his hair. I do my hair. I do his hair. I'll even do your hair if you're in hospital. I will do masking. Like, it's time for me to see what has happened. And then we spent 2 to 3 days usually. Sometimes we had the longest, which was 8 days, and in that 8-day period, I think the reason we had to stay for 8 days is there were 2 parents. There were 2 parents I needed to connect with. Unfortunately, one of them lost the child in that period. And then the other one was fine because it was a new child. It was a newborn who had just been born, but the child is fine. But she needed to talk. She needed to let go of so many things she was harboring. And after my 8 days were over, as usual, Nathan alipona in my back home. I'm not strong. I had just last week, I cried over him, proper wailing, trying to asking God why do I have to be strong? Why did he have this to be my life? And this all came out with, I read my story, and as I was reading it and reliving my story, it's my story.
Yeah, it's your story.
For some reason, I couldn't handle it. I started questioning the journey, and I guess it's like grieving or going through. You never fully get to 100% okayness, but you go through. There are things that remind you of that child,
which I think it's okay. Like,
it's okay.
Feel like it's like you're human.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you're human, and that's the thing. In as much as you got your answers, doesn't mean questions would arise
Yes.
now and then. So for me, I feel like it's like me, I'm still human.
Yeah.
Even with a perfect little 5-year-old kid, like sometimes you still have questions, you still feel like, am I doing better? You still feel like you're not a good enough mother. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, like for me, I think it's allowing yourself and knowing that it's okay sometimes to go through that phase.
Yes.
But then again, you don't stay down.
Don't stay there. Get up.
Lia,
toa
yote,
system, amka, endelea.
then heal, move on. Again, ikifika a point that you need to release and cry, do it.
Move on.
Because I just and I don't know why you're saying you're not strong, because I think you're one of the strongest women I know.
Yeah.
Like even sitting here and just sharing your story, you don't know like how much strength comes with that. You know.
I think the message to the special needs parent who's watching this is you may not feel it, but you are.
You are strong.
You are.
Completely.
You are. And keep telling yourself you are. There's someone in your life who's looking at you and saying, like V, looking at me, I'm like, who? Me,
yes,
strong?
You are.
But you are.
Sometimes when you can't see it in you, you have like me. I keep telling you that. I think I can't count the time
I believe you 50%.
So if you can see it through your lenses, look through mine.
That's so sweet.
Yes. I think that's the only time, like sometimes when you feel like I'm not doing it right, why me and all, you're breaking down, just be like, if we saw it,
it must be there somewhere.
I may not feel like it right now.
Yeah.
Because I also know there are sometimes you look at yourself and be like,
I'm the one.
It's just that balance and just knowing like it's okay sometimes not to feel okay. Yeah, you're human at the end of the day.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So I got baby number 2, scariest pregnancy though. But I was so sure I'm not pushing.
Why were you sure?
I was not going to get myself through that trauma of going through the emotion and then what happened with Nathan. So I wanted the baby out okay. I would rather deal with the pain, me dealing with the pain, but not the baby. So and of course it goes through your mind. What if? Because I have met parents who have more than one child who has a special need. Yes, I have actually met a parent who has 3 CP babies. 3. So that possibility is there. It is just that maybe God wanted me with one, you know. But I remember getting to a point where I told God, for me to have peace, I told myself, you know what? Where I'm one. If you decide that I'm going to have another special needs child, it's okay. You've equipped me for this one, you'll equip me for the next one. But as he may have it, I got that girl. She's perfect in all means, which I think is also dangerous because I feel like everything she does looks perfect. You know, even when she's misbehaving. I
think it's because you haven't experienced it.
Yeah, even when she's misbehaving, I'm like, oh look, she's doing this. Instead of beating her, I'm like, I'm staring at her in disbeliefment instead of punishing her. Yet I should. So, but raising both of them is interesting.
How is that, by the way?
It's a sweet balance because we have to teach her how to. She already knows at such a tender age. She knows that she needs to take care of this one.
Aww.
So she helps out taking the diapers out because we do, lack of a better expression, manual extraction of poop because he doesn't know how to sukuma for himself. So she knows that process. Like today morning, she was.
So is there like a machine?
Her. No, this is the machine.
Oh, okay.
So today morning I was carrying her and she was looking at the oils and she's saying cooking and then she pointed at the oil we use and she says poo poo. Like she knows. So when you say it's poo poo time, she knows the mafuta, she knows the gloves and the whole process. And when she knows her work is after poo is done, she needs to take the diaper to the dustbin. So I think my prayer at this point is learning how to make her feel special as well, because not also balancing so that we're not over, as a family, not over exerting ourselves on this one, and also remembering her in the process. But I feel like we're trying. We do everything together. In fact, our family mantra is no one is left behind. Let me tell you, God provides. Because I can't explain to you like, how we've paid for all those bills. I don't know. Like, ni Mungu anajua tu. Then I guess ni Mungu, because our bills per month at the moment, ni medication on its own is 20k. What? That's just the meds he needs. For you, it's not even the meds you can say. Staki compare. Like, I can't skip a day without those medicines. It will affect him, and you'd rather pay that 20k than 100k for admission. And of course, convulsions affect the brain further, so you can't risk him convulsing for a long period. So you'd rather pay that 20k for medication. Then on your account, kuona daktari, transport, the therapist
as well.
Even me, I don't know how I'm affording. So if you don't know how you're affording, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Ni God. Wow. Like, that's my answer all the time. Ni God.
We have come to an end of this episode. I really hope your story encourages someone out there to just live life to your fullest, and also to know, like, no matter what life throws at you, God has a reason for it, a purpose, and yours is just to discover that purpose. Like, you live life every day knowing, like, God already has the plan. And He's equipped you for it. You get? And you'll notice the things He's equipped you with the journey. Like, you start noticing that, maybe this is why I had to go through this, so this that I can be strong for this. When they say sometimes you don't see and know the reason until you know it, I think when you know it, you know it. And I'm so happy that, like, you have found your balance. I think that's so important. I'm so proud of you, Joyce. Like, words can't even words can put it into words. You're doing an amazing job in your decor business, and I'm so proud of that as well. You're doing so well as a mom. Like, keep doing it every single day. When the downs come, just cry it out and let's move. And we're here for you. We are here for you. And I hope we get to do better. I hope out here, if you know a parent with a special kid child, just try. Because even through this, I have learned a lot. I can't believe I'm saying this story without crying. And that's healing. That shows healing, and it shows how strong you are. And I'm so proud, even. Like, I'm thankful to God I could bring this far. Because I think you need to be healthy, also to be able to be there for your children. And now you have to, so you have to be even stronger, So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned. I hope you got a little bit about special kids. I hope you support a parent out there with a special kid child. And I just hope you guys are good humans. Just be good humans. I think that's all you owe life. And people need to mention support doesn't mean financially. Even just being there for an emotionally for a parent. Maybe you don't have to do anything. Just be there and check up on them. That's enough. You ready? Yeah. Props nazo za urembo. I know, you know, of color, like over here. Yes, and also on top. I don't know if you can see. Like, I've done some purple and the pink because, like, I've done her makeup before. Look at my lips. Is it gold or brown? It's like brown in the shimmer, like a gold shimmer. I've done your makeup before, so I tried to do something different so that you don't feel like, this is the same face. This is what you did last time. This is definitely different. Right? I like the color. Next time we can dance with it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's on period.
I'm so happy.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
And thank you for
This
sharing.
is such a beautiful platform.
Aww.
You're doing amazing things.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Yeah, guys, till next week. Remember, positive vibes only, no negativity. You scared? Just that I am positive. I only bring positive people in my channel. And remember, you, yani wewe, you can do all things you put your mind to because God got it. Got it, person. Till next week. Bye.